Hello, I'm Ed Reed, the editor of E-FWD, and I'm here today with Graham Puntis in Tees Valley. Graham, how are you? Tell me what company you're from.
So I'm from Quanta EPC, based just north of Newcastle in Cramlington.
And what are your plans? I gather you've got a big local project that you're working on.
We're here in Teesside, supporting a company that is bringing a waste-to-energy plant into the old Wilton site. Over the last 6 months or so, we've been running the planning applications. We've now moved into detailed design, around about a third of the way through that. And in around about 2 to 3 months' time, we'll start managing the construction of the plant here.
And what is it about Teesside, Tees Valley that attracted you and your client?
So there's a huge amount of industrial heritage here. An awful lot of it has been glossed over the last 20 or 30 years. But there are excellent sites, there's excellent infrastructure, there's excellent facilities, and actually there's an awful lot of government incentive to come into the region for our client. So those would be the main drivers for us.
I mean, I think there's a really interesting question there around the sort of the industrial legacy, and it feels like you're sort of literally building on this sort of industrial foundations. In terms of sort of the workforce, in terms of the infrastructure, are all the pieces in place to allow you to move ahead?
I think that the vast majority of the infrastructure is here. I think the resources are here and available. We need to work hard to find them and bring them to the fore again. I think it's been a challenging time for Teesside, and a lot of people have possibly moved away from the sector. We need to bring them back and get them upskilled and brought onto site now.
And in terms of, I suppose there's sort of the interplay, isn't there, between the sort of national government, local authorities, the mayoralty, the sort of, how do they all work? Are they aligned in trying to drive this sort of new sense of opportunity?
I think the alignment's coming. I think Ben's doing an excellent job as mayor in the region. I think that we need to get more support from central government, but I think that needs to be focused very much on filling the policy agenda gaps. There are particular issues around reskilling, I think, and I think we've got the elephant in the room of people like BP and so on pivoting, moving away from clean energy and back to oil and gas. Oil and gas is going to be here for many, many years to come, but we mustn't lose the momentum on the clean energy plans. I think we need to work out how we mitigate that threat at the moment.
Yeah. A really interesting question there about I suppose that sort of big company which you need to sort of drive these kind of big projects, but also kind of aligning with sort of those global drivers, isn't there? Is that a problem that you see for your company? I suppose for the region.
I don't see it as a major problem for our company at the moment. What I do see is an emerging threat over the next couple of years or so. What I hope is that we can get sufficient government support to mitigate away from that and keep the focus on the cleaner energy plans.
And in terms of, I suppose that sort of workforce issue, I mean, I think obviously there's sort of the existing workforce and there's sort of apprenticeships, and there's sort of two different pieces of the puzzle that maybe we speak to in different ways. Are they aligning in order to sort of drive the construction process and the sort of the operations of your plants?
So I think in terms of education and people at the start of their career, I think that there's been massive improvement in that over the last decade or so. We're certainly starting to bring through the skill sets that we need. What does concern me are the older portion of the workforce. It doesn't feel to me like we're doing enough to reskill them at the moment. And I'm worried about them getting lost and losing the opportunity.
Yeah. I suppose, and there's a kind of a question, isn't there, about sort of moving from one sector to the other, and sort of, is it like a one-way traffic? It feels like the regulations of the passporting isn't quite there yet.
I think that the big issue is that we've got a fundamental change in focus from oil and gas to renewable. It's fine to say, okay, we're using the same basic skill sets, but unfortunately, a lot of the guys that were working offshore don't have those skill sets. So we need to move those into a complete retraining program, I think. If we can do that, then I think there's massive opportunity. And I think that once you've moved into the renewable sector, it's much easier to move around. It's getting over that first hurdle.
So you've got this sort of near-term plan of your waste to energy plan. But is there a longer term pipeline? Do you see more projects kind of coming in the future?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think that the northeast of the UK is going to be very, very important in development of new technologies. We were unfortunate in that the British Volt project didn't work up north of Newcastle. However, the CCS projects down here are going great guns. I think waste to energy is going to be critical in the northeast. I certainly see a pipeline of other projects across the UK that are coming. I'd expect to be working on somewhere around about 3 of these projects every year or so. Lots to come, I think. I hope a lot of it will be focused in the northeast, but that will be driven by questions of investment as well.
Perfect. Graham, thank you very much.
Thank you.